How's it going, everyone? And welcome once again to another episode of Animal Talk Podcast in collaboration with SAAKA, the South African Animal Keepers Association. My name is Ryne.
And my name is Ayrton. Hey Ryan, how are you doing today?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. It has been a minute, but I'm excited to be back.
Welcome back. Yay. I have my co-host back.
Yeah, apologies if Ryan seemed a little bit lonely these last few weeks. Life has been very busy.
So lonely.
I'm sorry, but don't worry, I am back now, Ryan. So all good. We back and doing another podcast episode.
Yes, how exciting. And yes, it has been a minute, but guess what? We have a guest.
We do?
We do. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I mean, if I'm off the podcast long enough and then I come back, does that mean I'm a guest?
Well, technically, yes. At this point, you are a guest, but we'll let that slide.
But I'm not the guest.
You're not the guest. No. We actually have a guest that you and I have to talk to.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We've all been excited to chat to this person all the way from Cango. Yeah,
I love Cango.
Really excited. We all love Cango. Really excited to chat to her. So it's Pippa Fourie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay, finally we got you on the podcast.
Yay, welcome to the podcast. Yeah.
Yes, finally, I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for putting away time for us, because I know everybody's very busy and yeah, it's very difficult to get people nailed down so that we can get them onto the podcast. So thanks for making the time to join us. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, of course, thank you for having me. I was very excited, especially joining SAAKA recently. Very excited to be here.
Yes, very exciting. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
And we'll have a little bit of a chat more about that.
Welcome to the podcast and to SAAKA.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Indeed. But before we get going on the depth part of our conversation, we have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
What is your favorite animal?
Dun, dun, dun.
This is a very difficult question because it's just all the animals. But I would say my favorite animal is an elephant. Absolutely love elephants. Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
They're so intelligent. They're such cool animals. I really love them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, they are. They're very majestic.
Yeah, very incredible animals.
I must admit that I'm slightly shocked at your favorite animal, because I was thinking, and I think Ayrton was thinking this too, that it was going to be a porcupine.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I can't lie. I think everybody does expect that, because I probably work closest with one of our porcupines. And I do love porcupines. They're just not my favorite animal. They can be like my second favorite animal.
Okay, we'll go with second favorite.
Yeah,
That's
second
fine.
favorite.
Elephant can stay on the top
five.
and
they're in the top 5.
Yeah, top 5. Excellent. Well, for our listeners, do you want to tell us a little bit more about you? We did mention you're from Cango, but give us a little bit more of a background of who you are, what you do, and all of that.
Yeah, 100%. So I am an animal caregiver at Cango Wildlife in Oudtshoorn. So I work specifically down in Cheetahland. We work as part of the ambassador program. So where we have the encounters with our ambassador animals, such as the cheetahs and the lemurs. However, with that, I do also work with some of our other animals around the facility, such as the squirrel monkeys, agoutis, porcupines. So yeah, I do work closely with a couple of other animals as well outside of Cheetahland. But yeah, we do work pretty closely with the visitors, doing a lot of education with them when they do come for their encounters. But then I also do quite a lot of husbandry training with some of the animals, and enrichment as well is a big part of our day.
Okay, and a question I have for you is,
yes,
how did you get to this position? What were you doing before this?
So before this, I was studying. So I did my bachelor's in animal behavioral science, and I did that while I was living in the UK. So I lived in the UK for 4 years while I was studying. And before that, I was living in Bahrain in the Middle East. Yeah, basically my course, it was very heavily focused on behavioral welfare training, behavioral modification, and all of that, which is really cool. So that's definitely helped quite a lot, I'd say, especially from the husbandry training point of view, knowing what signs to look out for, when kind of knowing when to call a session when they're doing good, or if they're having a day where they're a little bit more frustrated and you can see they're not training as well as normal, or maybe they're just having an off day, knowing kind of when to call it and be like, okay, cool, we've learned, or they're having a really good day today, let's see what else we can do, and all of that. But then also from the enrichment, making sure that we're giving the correct enrichment to the correct animals and knowing that they're benefiting from it, not just giving it for the sake of giving it.
Ayrton, I think we found someone in our WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I was like, welcome to the tribe. You can be on our island for Survivor.
Welcome to the tribe. Oh, yay for me.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you were saying, I was like, this is so great, because I think it's such an important thing, with how the industry's going. And I think that's what Ryne and I are so excited about, is the more workshops and conferences we go to, that this is the things that are coming up more and more, is there's such a heavy focus now on animal behavior and the impact we have on them in human care, and the things that we need to focus on, like in training sessions, when to end a session on a setting the animal up for success, and them ending on a positive, versus us pushing in one more behavior because we think we can do it, and then it ends up on a not so fun end for the animal. So I think it's really exciting, and what an amazing opportunity it must have been for you. I really think animal behavior is really something that is a tool that we can use to really fix a lot of our problems that we have, from a husbandry perspective, from welfare, well-being. So often I think, with the way the industry was in the past, that was never really taken into consideration. So it's really exciting, and I know Cango is really big on that. So really excited to hear more from you in this podcast, and what more you get up to.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do think the behavior side of it does often get overlooked, I think, in some areas of the industry. So I'm very excited that it's definitely starting to become bigger, and it's a lot more attention is coming towards it as well.
Pippa, what was your first animal you ever trained, even if when you were busy with your studies?
Wow. Flashback.
I actually didn't think now. I'm actually really having to think about this. I was about to say, with the studies, the first animal was a horse. However, previously, before that, I'd obviously, with our dogs and stuff like that at home, done some basic training, like sit, down, all of that, but nothing too exciting. At university was when we really started getting into different types of training, and then also into the behavioral modifications. So kind of looking at specifically problem behaviors and how to solve them.
Okay, that's awesome. And your first animal you trained when you started at Cango?
So the first animals I started training when I got to Cango was the squirrel monkeys. So I kind of threw myself in the deep end a little bit there, because I'd never worked with primates before, let alone trained primates. So yeah, definitely got thrown in the deep end. They're very intelligent, and I'm actually scared one day they're going to outsmart me. But yeah, no, they're very, very intelligent, and it's been a big learning curve for me. And I think I'm learning from them just as much as I'm teaching them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite an important point as well, because I mean, both Ayrton and myself have learned from so many animals that we've interacted with and trained over the years. It pretty much molds you and changes the way you do things over time, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it does. And especially with the squirrel monkeys, we've got 6 of them, and every single one of them has their own personality, and what works for one doesn't work for the other. So it's kind of having to go away and think, okay, even just with our basic target sessions and stuff, I'm having to do group sessions with them, because they don't really do well being split up to train. So I'm having to learn different ways on how to work with the more dominant monkeys alongside the less dominant monkeys, and kind of how to get the same level of training across all of them. So that was a massive learning curve for me.
I think there's a lot of mistake that people make, and they always go, but it's a squirrel monkey and they all are squirrel monkeys, so they should be able to be trained the same. And that goes for every single species. Not every individual animal is the same as their species. Like you said, they are all different in their personalities. They like different things. They do different things. So it's definitely something that people kind of forget about. They just think oh, you should be able to just train it the same way I trained my squirrel monkey.
Yeah, no, 100%. The personality is definitely something you need to take into account, especially some of them are a lot more food motivated than others. Others just really enjoy the attention. So it's also kind of looking at each monkey and going, what works best for you? And then trying to fit my training around that. So the two of them that I work really close with, Cheeky Boy and Old Man, very creative with the names. They two completely different monkeys. So Cheeky Boy, he is very, very food motivated, and he almost gets a little bit too obsessive within some of the training sessions. Like he kind of gets overexcited and he starts snatching and he starts getting frustrated. Whereas Old Man, bless him, I love him, but he's takes about 3 years to catch up with what I'm asking him to do.
Okay.
So it's kind of specifically doing back-to-back training sessions with them, having to clear the mind and then go, okay, we're working with Old Man now. I don't have to be like, I'm going to have to be a lot clearer with what I'm asking. Whereas with Cheeky Boy, I'm going to be a lot more quick on my reactions, specifically when I'm starting out behaviors, because otherwise I end up rewarding the wrong behavior because of how quick he moves around and how busy he is.
Yeah, I think you also raised a really good point, and something that people don't always take into consideration, especially, it's so difficult. It's like, it's really easy when you get to work with an animal one-on-one. And it was the problem I always faced with a lot of the fish that I got to train, because by the time I had kind of inherited the exhibits that I worked with, they were like, all the animals were already in a mixed species exhibit. So trying to like isolate one animal and work with them becomes really challenging when you're having to train in a group setting, or if you're trying to train a group. But what you mentioned with like also just understanding hierarchy, and it's so I always find it so fascinating to see in a group session how like the hierarchy totally plays a role in, who's more dominant, who's kind of less dominant in that group, and how you're able to also work with those individuals based on that. And it's always like, I always feel like you have to like juggle, because you're like trying to bridge on time and reinforce at the right point, and like also think about the hierarchy and who's more dominant, and yeah, primates always take it to the next level. So yeah, really, really interesting. Just gave me like a flashback of myself.
Yeah, no, it's hard, especially with the group sessions. I'd say specifically with the less dominant monkeys, I've had to heavily rely on social facilitation and kind of just hope that with what they're seeing the other monkeys do, they pick it up as well. So especially with the recall training, the dominant monkeys picked it up very, very quickly, whereas the others held back quite a lot until eventually they kind of realized, oh, but it's nice inside the night house. There's snacks in there. So I'm going to try go in there and see if it works. And I was very lucky that it did actually end up working.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like you guys, your recalls have to be good because of all the things that the facilities faced in the last while. It just also just shows that your guys' training is spot on, because you have to be able to recall your animals or ask them to, crate voluntarily, especially with like the big cats and things. Yeah, just great job. Keep doing what you're doing. It's what I've been saying at work for the last 3 days. It's like, good job, keep going, we'll get there, just keep going. Because it's also like sometimes you feel you have an idea and a goal where you want to be, and sometimes it can be really frustrating because you're like, oh, we're in a year now and I feel like we should be at this point, but the animals also just like, we're not there yet. So it sounds like Old Man is one of them that's like, I still need to catch up.
Yeah, I was about to say that is Old Man. I love Old Man so much, but he is a bit special, especially with like the station training. I've gotten both Cheeky Boy and Old Man to a point now where I can ask them both to go to their own stations, and they'll both sit on their own stations while doing a training session together, which is
amazing,
incredible. But it did take me 6 months. And Old Man still sometimes doesn't quite understand what a station is.
It took you 6 months, but it also took dedication and passion. So I appreciate that.
Yes, and a lot of patience, specifically with Old Man.
100%. Yeah, I think in our industry, a lot of patience is needed. And when you're animal training, even more so, because sometimes, like Ayrton said, we get frustrated because we've got an end goal and we're trying to get there, but things are in our way, and we're just trying to manipulate things and try and get things going in the right direction. So it is challenging, but yeah, you are doing a really, really good job. So I have to ask about Patricia the Quill.
Patricia, my favorite child. But don't tell the monkeys I said that. I absolutely love that porcupine.
We're gonna tell the elephants.
That's okay. I don't work with elephants.
Tell the elephants. We're gonna tell the squirrel monkeys. We're gonna tell everybody.
To be fair, I do tell one of our squirrel monkeys on a regular basis that Patricia is my favorite child because he is such a menace. But yeah, no, I absolutely love Patricia. She's such a character. Everyone at Cango absolutely loves her, and especially now that I've got her harness and walk trained and we're actually able to walk her out on the facility. Everybody always comes to say hi, and all the visitors think it's hysterical, but it's also just such good enrichment for her as well to be able to get out.
Yeah, when I was watching a video of her with you having her on her harness and walking around the facility, I was just like, she's just loving every minute of it. I can just see it in her. Like she's got like a little hop, skip, and a jump in her walk, and she just wants to go and see what's going on. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, she runs. She walks us, not the other way around.
It's like, oh yeah.
She decides she's going one way, and then off she goes. Like, even today we walked her down to where our volunteer lodge is so that she could go run around on the grass a little bit, and she sprinted the whole way there. We were having to speed walk / run to keep up with her. But yeah, no, she loves her walks, and she just really enjoys going to say hi to people as well. She has no fear. She'll just walk up to anyone to go say hi. It's like, not everyone wants to say hi to you, though. You are a bit spiky.
Shame.
It's okay.
You're a little bit different.
It's okay. Like I know you want to say hi to everyone, but not everyone wants to say hi to you.
Shame.
No, but yeah, she's also been so nice to train. She's so intelligent, but then again, rodents are. Yeah, I've been training her for about 3 months, and we've been able to get her scale trained, crate trained, harness trained, target trained, and we're even starting with intramuscular, and we're almost done with that as well. She's so quick, and she loves it as well.
Amazing.
Right.
That sounds amazing. I want to ask you about the intramuscular part, but first I want to ask you about the crating.
Yes.
Obviously, she goes in, she can't turn around, or is the crate big enough for her to turn around in?
No, the crate is big enough for her to turn around in.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like, it's going to be interesting when she's backing up out the crate and somebody's in the way.
No. She likes to be able to see out of the crate. I figured that out the first time. Yeah, she likes to see where she's going. Unfortunately, she's now grown out of the crate that has wheels, because there used to be a crate with wheels and she'd climb in, turn around, and we kind of wheeled her everywhere. But she is now too big for that one. So we've had to upgrade her to a slightly bigger crate. So we now have back to carrying her.
You know what is really cool that I saw at Australia Zoo when I was there is they have a wombat wagon.
I saw a video of that.
I want a wombat wagon.
They move their wombats around the facility in a wagon.
That was going to be my backup plan if Patricia didn't enjoy the harness. Put her in a wagon.
Yeah, it's very cool. Put her in a wagon.
Yeah, no, she loves the walks so much.
That's so cool. Okay, so tell us about the intramuscular injections that you have trained that.
Yes, so we're not at a point yet where we can do a full intramuscular with the needle. So we're still just busy with the desensitization. So the first thing I did was teach her to come stand up on a log with her front legs. And then we're going to be using one of her front shoulders for the injection itself, just purely because with all the quills in the back, it's a bit dangerous. So with the target stick, I've taught her.
Sorry, you're poking her and then she's poking you at the same time.
I was about to say everyone's going to get poked. None of us want to be on the receiving end of that. So
no,
that's why it's really important to get the behavior trained and down. So with the target stick, I have also trained her to put her nose to the target stick and hold. So my cue for that is hold. And she will keep her nose stuck to the target stick while we're busy desensitizing, and then the click itself is what releases it, and then we reward her. Yeah, no, but she's doing really well with it. The hold, I actually managed to capture that behavior by accident, because she also does this thing where when she thinks quite a lot, she buffers and she just pauses, and then she doesn't move for a couple of seconds. So the first time she did it,
Capture.
Capture that moment. Yeah. So the first time she did it was with her nose to the target stick, and I double rewarded her, and I gave her like, "Good girl, you did so clever, good job." And she just kept doing it afterwards. Every single time I held the target stick up for her to come up against the log, and I was like, "Yes, I've done it." By accident, but I've done it.
That is one thing I don't teach my computer to do, is to just continue to buff.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a porcupine, not a computer. So it's okay. It works in this.
Definitely. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love capturing. That's amazing. I'm sitting here just with the biggest smile on my face listening to you, because it's like, yay, a trainer that knows what they're doing. Yay.
We love those, don't
Yay.
we?
No, I love training so much.
We definitely do. Yep.
It makes me so happy when they, like, you can see they're busy thinking and they're figuring it out, and then once they have it,
light
it's
bulb
just so
moment.
rewarding. Yeah. But then even for me, sometimes I realize where I'm standing skew, or the way I'm giving a cue is wrong, and then I fix that, and then it works, and I'm like, yes, I figured it out.
This whole time I've been doing it, and the animal's like, what are you wanting from me? I'm like, but this is what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Haha. That's what I was doing wrong.
Yeah. It was actually one of the cheetahs I was training, Aston, one of our cubs who ended up going to a different facility. I was busy rewarding with my left hand because I like to reward with my left hand. And she, as gentle as she was, she just kept lifting her leg every single time I rewarded. And then I figured out it's because she likes being rewarded with the right hand, because the second I started rewarding with my right hand, she stopped doing it. And it was something just as simple as changing which hands you reward with fixes something like that.
Crazy. And I think sometimes us as trainers, even great job that you picked it up, but sometimes we have these trainer blinkers on and we're like, get so stuck in, why is it doing that? Why is this happening? And sometimes it requires a second person to be watching from the outside or videoing yourself to pick up those things. But if you can pick them up quickly enough on your own, perfect.
Yeah, no, I'll say I do really enjoy having other people join my sessions, purely so then I can, especially if I am struggling with something, I can always ask for a second opinion. But then it's also nice just to always be able to get some footage of yourself. But then also generally a lot of these behaviors, especially the medical training, there's going to be more than one person present. So it's also nice for them to have that desensitization for if we do have to start doing stethoscope training, even like with the ultrasounds or blood draws, and that it's nice to have that second person there, so they're already used to having more than one person around.
Yeah, I think, you also touched on, for a moment, you touched on like how you can literally use animal training to fix problems in behavior or problems, you're having with animals. And I think modification is also it's like, I feel like it's such an art form, because if you know what you're doing and you know your principles, and you are not only aware of what you're doing and how you need to do it, but also like self-aware. You need to be like so self-aware of what you're doing all the time. But it's really like, once you get everything right, the things, and just like you've described, like all the things you've been able to train this little porcupine in this period of time is just so amazing. And I think it's really inspiring. I hope that like our listeners as well, especially for the other animal keepers out there that are listening, to just, it's, if you haven't tried animal training and there's, you want to read up more about it, and it's something you're interested in, I think it's definitely something you should really just try and push yourself to go into, because I think all three of us can agree that it really is kind of life-changing once you know the principles and you're comfortable training, and it becomes this rewarding situation, not only for your animals, but for you as keepers and trainers. Not only do the animals get those light bulb moments, but we do too. When you want a certain behavior and you're asking for it a certain way, or you've set up a training plan in a certain way, and then the animal is like 10 steps ahead of you and just offers you that behavior already. I think it's something that's really, really exciting. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was about to say, on that, with them being 10 steps ahead of you, it happens so often, where I set up a training plan and I've thought out every single step and how I'm going to move on to the next step, and then they start at step 3.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They're just like,
just
you want me to do
plans.
this?
Yeah, it happens.
It's like, oh, well, we've saved time.
Yeah, like, thank you. But also, all my hard work, I thought that through.
Also, for me, it's been a really interesting time. A lot of people will know, and Ryne, I don't know if Ryne mentioned it probably in some of the podcasts, but I've shifted to a different facility, and I've basically had the last 3 days to really just settle in and go into every enclosure and spend time with the animals and just really just sit and watch behavior. And it's been great. But also then just chatting to staff and hearing concerns over, this particular animal does this or doesn't like men or prefers the female keepers or vice versa. And then just going in and really just being so self-aware of your behavior, and then just thinking, about your movement and your body language and like voice control, like when you're talking to animal, how are you coming across, your hand gestures, like so much of what we do on a daily basis impacts our animals' behavior as well. So it's just really so interesting to even get, like, once you're so in tune with, like, it sounds like you are, once you're so in tune with animal training and you become so self-aware of like what you're doing, but eventually you work out that, certain like body language or how you use your voice can literally like influence how you're modifying their behavior and shaping their behavior. So it doesn't have to be like these massive, changes with like target sticks, for example. Like simple stuff like body language has an impact. And I always find that so fascinating, because it's often stuff that, keepers aren't really paying attention to, and they're not really aware that they're doing a thing a certain way, and then the animal responds, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this animal hates me. And it's like, no, it's just like, if you watched yourself, this is what you were giving off, or this is what you did. So yeah, that's the fun of working with animals and trying to train them.
Yeah, I do think people tend to forget that about 90% of the way that animals communicate is off of body language. So it is very important the way you hold yourself around them and the way you behave around them does have an effect. At uni, one of the examples we were given is with dogs, when you go walking with your dogs, and there'll be another dog somewhere, maybe across the road, that's not on a leash, and the second you tense, your dog tenses, and that's kind of what always creates that sort of issue there. So it's just little things that even get used in everyday life that I think people don't necessarily always think about. And yeah, it's very, very important. Behavior is just, it's so cool, but also a little bit complicated once you start understanding it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, knowing to be able to change your own body language can be so challenging if you've never tried or done it before. And I think, a lot of new people in the industry and new trainers kind of find it hard to figure out what they're doing with their body language, because we don't use body language as much as we should and understand it as much as we should anymore, because we obviously can talk. So we tend to hide our emotions and things that we are thinking of by not voicing them, but our body language puts it out. And if you don't know how to read body language, you won't pick it up. So we kind of rely on that. But then when you're a trainer, you have to kind of change your body language a bit so that you can set the animal up for success. And I've had so many situations where I think I've discussed one of them before, but the one specific one that comes to mind is the one of the toucan, where I was tense about something. I can't even remember what it was. And my body language was telling her something's wrong. And she was just looking at me like, where's the predator? Well, what's wrong? And I was like, why is she bouncing around like she's nervous? And it was because I was feeling tense. And as soon as I changed my body language, she was like, oh, everything's gone. Okay, great. And then carried on with the routine. So it makes such a big difference.
Dan, it's crazy how they always tend to pick up the smallest change in your behavior. And that can also set the tone for a session with training as well. If you come in a little bit off, they pick that up immediately. And then the session itself will also end up being a little bit off. And yeah, no, it's crazy how well they read certain body languages from yourself. It's really cool, but very crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, it also starts on a thought. I think, Ryne, we also chatted about this, but always like it starts on a thought like process level. Like when you go into a training session, you've got other stuff on your mind, you're not really present, right? and you're like thinking about appointment you have later, or you don't want to be late for this, and then all these things start adding up, and your mind's so busy that you're like there, but you're not mentally invested. And I mean, how can we expect the animals that, we giving a cue to, or asking them for, a tricky behavior, or like a blood draw, for example, like how can we expect them to trust that, we're asking for this set behavior when we're not actually 100% present? And then that translates into our body language. And I think Ryan definitely mentioned this before in one of our previous episodes, that, humans, we've just kind of lost this ability to, like, not the ability to read body language, but kind of like we just don't do it. And often I'll see someone and I'll be like, oh my word, like, are you okay? And they'll be like, oh my word, how did you know that, I was having such a rough day? And you're just like, because I looked at your body language. So it's also so funny to see when like a bunch of trainers get together and see how they read each other and also people, because I think over time we get so tuned to our own body language and the body language of our animals that we naturally are reinforced to read body language of others as well.
Yeah, and you do pick it up pretty quickly as well when you can see things like that. And it's also, I think people focus on the bigger behaviors. That's really easy to spot. They don't really necessarily notice those small little changes, like with the micro facial expressions and stuff like that. That is quite complicated to pick up, but yeah, people tend to generally focus on the big behaviors that are easy to see.
Yeah, good point. Well, we could speak about training, I think, for the next 3 hours, but we don't have 3 hours on the podcast. Unfortunately, guys, I'm so sorry. But we do have we do have a set time, but that's okay, because it just means, Pippa, we have to have you back on the podcast again to talk more training. I think that will be.
I was going to say, let's talk more training behavior.
Yeah, definitely. But before we move towards the end, I just wanted to ask you about your feelings and how you feel about being a SAAKA member.
I am genuinely so excited about it, especially for the point that I also get to do something really cool like this, like join the podcast and come speak to you guys, but also just being able to reach out to other professionals in the industry, to be able to swap ideas, and especially from a training point of view, to see what other people are doing at different facilities and how can I incorporate what you guys are doing with the animals I work with. I'm just really excited about that. And then also being able to, I believe there's like a log where you can start logging a lot of your training hours and all of that onto SAAKA, but I need to read into that a little bit more.
Yeah, yes. Creature credits.
Yeah. I need to read into that a little bit more. I'm excited about that.
You can log being on the podcast on creature credits.
I mean, I'm going to go figure out how to do that right after this podcast.
Excellent. And don't forget, you're talking about everything that you can get from other keepers from SAAKA, but remember what you can also give, because you have a lot of experience. And I think what we've just chatted about now in this podcast, so many people can learn from you as well. So it's a give and take, and it's awesome to have somebody like you with us as a member of SAAKA. So thanks for joining.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited to learn more as well.
Awesome. Well, if anybody has any questions for Pippa or for Ayrton or for myself, you can email us at animal.talk201@gmail.com, or you could get hold of us on our social media.
Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Our handle is @animaltalkpodcast_ZA. Please go and like our various social media platforms, our posts, and then with our YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to our page, and also share and comment and like, because that really helps us to, spread Animal Talk podcast so we can reach more animal professionals.
Definitely. And if you want to know a little bit more about SAAKA and how to become a member, just like Pippa, you can find the details about SAAKA at the bottom of this podcast, but it's also saaka.org.za. So you can go and have a look and see everything about the South African Animal Keepers Association. Well, Pippa, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great chatting to you, and we are going to definitely book you for another one. So I hope you're ready for that.
I will be ready. I'm excited. As I say, I've still got so much more stuff that I can talk about now, but time's up.
Time is up. Yep. Any last thoughts, Ayrton?
I'll put one just random sentence in here and say that, we were talking about body language. Changing your facial expression does not mean you changed your body language.
Deep, definitely. Nice thought for everyone.
I was going to say, good thought to end it on.
Ponder on that.
Definitely. Well, everyone, like I always say, thanks very much. And remember, animals are our passion.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And remember that our quality of care is their quality of life. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Animal behavior. Yeah. English has left me. My bad.
It's okay.
Yeah. No, but
as long as you haven't left us.
I haven't left you. No, my English has left me though. It's been a long day. Lots of talking. No, but